Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll show you several wall decor ideas. The first project is a pottery barn knockoff. This is a numbers canvas. It's from old stock and not being sold anymore. The first thing to do is to print and cut out the prints. I have here a canvas which is a 3 size. Since the original print is vintage one, I'm aging the printouts using instant coffee. I'm adding a little water to a spoonful of instant coffee and tinting the white areas on the printout till I get the desired shade. Now I'm going to cut out the print. To cover the entire canvas, I have to cut as many as 6 pieces from A4 sheets because of the margins. I have prepared 2 options for printing for you, a smaller one to fit a canvas of A4 size and a larger one to fit A3 size like mine. All the links are in the description box as usual. Next you will need a canvas. I have here a used one. So first I'm covering the canvas generously with white glue so that the entire surface is covered. You can also use Mod Podge here. And I'm attaching the prints so that all the seams come together and there are no wrinkles. After that, I'm applying more glue on the paper. You'll need quite a lot. The paper should be soaked with glue, and I begin by kind of rubbing the glue into the surface. In the video, this is not very visible, but when you rub it with effort, the texture of the canvas will appear on the surface. Also, if you rub it in one place for a long time, the black ink from the printout will start to wear off a little, which will add a vintage feeling to the work. After all the paper is ground in and you like the look, leave the whole thing to dry. The canvas will stretch a little and the surface will be nice and smooth. After everything dries well, all that is left is to cover small flaws. In some places the paper seams got visible a little, so I'm painting them black. And I'm also painting the edges of the canvas black to finish the work. I'm also adding an ivory shade to the numbers here and there, but this is optional. As you can see, this is a super simple project and you can make any picture or photo on canvas like this. This would be a great focal point for a small room with its graphic nature to add structure but a modern twist on a rustic surface. For the second project, a board is needed, for example a piece of plywood or even a piece of thick cardboard. I'll be making a piece of feather art. First I'm drawing a sketch, a kind of a knock, and I'm indicating the direction of the hair roughly, or how it's called with feathers. Then I'm taking wood putty and white glue. I'm adding a little glue to the putty to make it more soft, but so it will still hold its shape. And I'm applying the putty to the board approximately where the feather will be located. And then I'm drawing the feather in more detail, using a spatula. You can use a knife here. First I'm adding veins, then making more of them, removing lumps if they are formed. I'm making one side of the feather first and then the other one. In some places I'm removing the putty completely, now holding the spatula horizontally parallel to the surface, as if the feather has gaps between the hairs. At the very end I'm taking a sheet protector and cutting off a corner, then filling it with the putty and drawing a feather spine, a central stick from which the hairs go. After that I let the putty dry thoroughly. I'm painting the drawing dark gray. And finally, I'm painting the feather gold. I'm spraying gold metallic into a bowl and applying this liquid paint with a stiff brush to the feather. You can use gold acrylic or rub and buff here, or even a touch gold leaf here, but I think gold spray paint is the easiest option. And here is how you can make a nice piece of art without having any drawing skills. You can change the colors to your liking, and instead of a feather you can draw any simple relief pattern, highlighting it with metallic. I've seen many similar works on Pinterest. For the first project, I'll be using the leftover glass from photo frames. You can buy cheap photo frames for this purpose, then you will need 2 identical frames for one panel. I've decided to make the framing for the glass from a piece of a shower door ceiling strip. This one is left after our bathroom renovation. It's super cheap. I'll leave a link to a similar one in the description box. I'm cutting the strip into pieces to fit the size of the glass, and then I'm cutting the edges at 45 degrees with scissors. By the way, I advise you to measure the frame parts on a finished 2-glass panel. I've measured these to fit 1 glass and I have made it the wrong size, so the frame doesn't fit a little. I'll show you later. I'm sanding all the plastic pieces to make the edges even. You can also use 2 ready-made photo frames with super thin framing for this project if you find them. I didn't. I'm going to make chain hangers for the frames. I've got a chain left from a hanging flower basket which I used for another project. You can buy a piece of chain at a hardware store or hang it on a rope as well. And you will also need 2 rings for fastening, ready-made or twisted out of wire. I'm marking where the rings will be on the plastic parts. Then I'm making cuts there using a needle heated on a candle. First I'm piercing a hole and then expanding it to the right and to the left until I get a slot into which the ring will fit. After that, I'm spray painting all of the frame's parts gold. To fill the frames, I've collected leaves and flowers in the garden and I've dried them between the sheets of old magazines. By the way, it's better to use plants that will become completely flat after drying for such frames. Roses, for example, will be too thick for that. I'm degreasing the glass and applying the dried plants over it. Then I'm gluing the plants to one of the pieces of glass. I've used super glue here, but keep in mind it leaves whitish stains on the glass, so trip just a little, just to fix the plant, or better use transparent double-sided tape. Since the plants have some thickness, the second piece of glass will not converge tightly with the first one. Therefore, I'm making small spaces at the corners of the glass out of cardboard, so the 2 pieces of glass will be fixed together and everything will be smooth and neat, a ready-made panel to insert into the frame. The main thing here is not to forget to degrease and clean the second piece of glass before gluing, cause you won't be able to remove the fingerprints from the inside. Now I'm going to assemble the frame. First I'm attaching the rings to the tips of the chain. In order to fix the glass securely, because I don't want it to come apart and fall, I've decided to do the following. I'll hook the chain onto a thin ribbon and glue this ribbon along the edge of the glass, and then I'll tie the ends. So the glass will kind of hang on a ribbon loop and the frame parts will just cover the edge of the glass. I'm passing the ribbon through the slots in the upper part of the frame and hooking it onto the rings, like attaching the rings to the upper part of the frame using the ribbon. After that, I'm attaching the part with the chain and the ribbon to the top of the glass panel. I'm gluing the ribbon to the glass panel and tying the ends. After that, I'm attaching the rest of the frame parts to the glass panel. In the end, I'm applying a little hot glue around the corners. As I've said before, I haven't taken into account the thickness of the panel, and as a result, the strip wouldn't fit the panel completely to the full depth, so the frame wouldn't converge in the corners. But after painting the hot glue with gold metallic, it looks like the metal parts were soldered to each other, so despite this jump, I'm happy with the result. I've seen a lot of such frames in many stores. These transparent frames look very stylish. By the way, you can also put photos instead of plants into them. They look like they are floating in the air. Of course, there's more fuss with these shower strip frames, but I had all of this laying around, so why not use this stuff and get the frames for free? Please let me know what you think of today's project down below. Thanks for watching this video and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!